Well, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the interview with Craig-Veltri.
Thank you, Megan Pennington, and welcome to the interview. You might know our guest from her time on the Nickelodeon sketch comedy show All That from 2002 to 2005. In the intervening 2 decades, she's remained active as an author of the 2016 children's fantasy book Ash Ridley and the Phoenix, online as a video game reviewer for several outlets, singer for Las Vegas band Radical West, and is the host of the podcast Tempermental with Lisa Foiles, recording in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada. Here she is, Lisa Foiles. Lisa, welcome to the interview.
Hello. Oh yes, thank you so much. Yeah, you said all the things. That was awesome. I also have my own punk band. It's a new band called Legal Limit.
We'll
So
talk about
that's
Legal
so
Limit in
yeah.
just a second and probably even feature some. This is mostly a music interview, so I'll be happy to pump some tracks later on if
Sweet.
so done. So let's start at the beginning. You talked often about being a fan of SNL, Carol Burnett, and you got the opportunity relatively young to appear on All That. How did that opportunity fall to you?
Yeah, I started in theater when I was a kid and I was just always really drawn toward comedy. It just came very naturally to me. And I was a competitive dancer as well, so I was very used to being in front of people and dancing on stage. And we eventually moved to California, I remember getting that email that they were doing a nation. Or I don't even think it was an email. I think it was just like a phone call. I'm like, did we have email back then? I don't know.
Now you were
Um,
you were born in Portland. Did you make the move to
yes,
to get this audition?
yes. At the time, I was living in Washington. My whole family's kind of from the Pacific Northwest, so that's always where I go for holidays and to see family and everything. I'm really a PNW girl. Like that's where my heart is.
I
But
hear it's
yeah,
lovely.
so yeah, it is. It's so I mean, if you love rain, I love rain. So it's my happy place up there. We don't get
Okay.
a lot of that in Las Vegas. It's very dry. But
Eh,
yeah, so I was a dancer and theater actor up in Washington, and then my family moved to California. And I think it was a year later after we moved here, a year and a half maybe, that I got the audition. Like they were doing a nationwide search for a brand new cast, and I was a massive fan of all that. It was my favorite show.
I loved it
So
too.
I was so excited when I got that audition. And then after a very, very long process of callbacks, I eventually made the cast.
Mhm. Well, when you got on the cast, you made probably one of the biggest impressions all time. Great sketch from that series, the Heather and Brad set Together
Yes,
Forever.
together forever. Yes.
It was that everybody knew that couple in high school. Everybody knew those people in high school, and some of those people never grew out of that from high school. You've
It's
been to some
very true.
weddings in the intervening years. That's why it's so timeless. It was whose idea was that to bring that to All That?
I hadn't really done a lot of one-on-one sketches with Jack, and we had just kind of developed this great chemistry over the 4 years that we were on the show together.
Jack
So
DeSena,
I believe it
correct?
was, yes, Jack DeSena, who is the voice of Sokka on Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life, and he's so
He was
talented.
hilarious throughout his whole time there for sure.
So good. And I actually just got to see him last December here in Vegas. He came to visit me, and everybody on that cast is just has that old friend personality where like it feels like no time has passed, right? You have those friends from your childhood where like you haven't seen them for many, many years, but then when you do, it's like you fall right back into the inside jokes and the chemistry is like still there. So
I know for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. So he and I had been in a lot of sketches together, obviously, but not like one-on-one, like co-starring two of us in one sketch. So yeah, I think the writers just gave us that chance to act opposite one another, and
Did they see that
they
kind of chemistry off of that? Not to say that you were those personality types, but it was just kind of like, yeah, let's make her that, let's make him that.
I think I'm definitely a very annoying person. I think the writers were like, she can pull off being the most annoying girl in a high school. Absolutely, she can. No, I mean, we were always just doing silly voices and doing characters and playing around. So I'm sure that, that was those were characters that we were just messing around with that they're like, oh, let's just put it in the sketch. But
just how you went for at the one initial step, how you went from zero to I'm going to murder after realizing Brad was cheating on Heather.
Oh yeah.
Did you require much coaching for that, or is that just the natural that face just came to you?
I mean, I had it down pretty well. Like I definitely knew what I wanted to do with the character. I mean, we always get direction, right? The director always coaches us through, you know, from his perspective, right? Like he can see it from the outside. So yes, of course we got a lot of pointers on any character that we developed. But I remember those ones we got them dialed in pretty quickly. And that was always my favorite sketch because I love physical comedy. Because like I said, I'm a dancer and I did gymnastics, and so I love, even to this day, like when I'm on stage, I don't ever stop. I don't ever stand still. I'm always running over here and jumping off the drum stand and, jumping off the stage and dancing in the crowd and coming up and doing crazy stuff. Like I just don't ever stop. And
Yeah.
so that one, I got to lunge at Jack and tackle him out of his chair onto a mat that was off screen. And we didn't actually do it full out until we taped. Like we did a couple times in practice, but it wasn't until we actually filmed it where everybody saw me do it. And there was this like massive pause after I did it because everybody up in the booth was laughing so hysterically. They needed a second to just compose themselves before we went back to filming the rest of the sketch. That was very, very satisfying.
It
But
was
yeah, I loved that.
sell out at the curtain, as I've heard it said in my time in professional
Oh,
wrestling.
totally. Yes,
So,
absolutely.
but we're here with Lisa Foiles on the Craig-Veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. For more on Scarfire Media, visit our website, scarfiremedia.com. Huge event this coming weekend. Music on the Porch will be streaming all day from an undisclosed location in Pittsburgh. Please check us out on our Scarfire YouTube channel. Also, this episode will be dropping on Music from the 412 this coming Monday, musicfromthe412.com, which will be featuring the new music video from Moonshine Vagabonds, my band. It Wasn't Love, dropping later this week on that particular platform. Hopefully that will be the case, because who knows, maybe the video is awesome. I'm not gonna be self-deprecating on myself. Moving on to more serious conversations. I'm sure you get a version of this question over the many years, and the conversation has kind of resurfaced in the wake of the death of Hayden Pantier at the age of 36 about 2 weeks ago. Still unknown causes, but Miss Pantier has had a very open public discussion, and her addiction has been or addiction issues, I should say, have always been very ever present, and it's a very common tale with not just child stars, but within show business. Do you have any insight as to why, and maybe not, and I hope this doesn't trigger survivor's guilt in asking this, but how have you managed to avoid the pitfalls of fame, especially at such a young age?
I had a really, really solid foundation when it comes to my parents and my family. And I was a very, very good girl, like raised as a very like good girl, like very modest, stayed away from, in fact, there's like funny stories of like I never swore for like years and years. And even on the set of all that, like if any of the boys would ever swear, which they did a lot, I would always like hit them and be like, don't curse, like don't do that. Like again, I'm a very annoying person. Um, but yeah, no, my parents were just very protective in the best way, and I always surrounded myself with kind of like-minded individuals that kind of had my best interest in mind, and didn't really let myself get pulled into any of the parties, the party scene or anything. That wasn't really my personality anyway, so it wasn't too hard for me to avoid it. But yeah, when you're a star in Hollywood, you pretty much just get offered whatever you want at any time, like regardless of how old you are. It's like it's very easy to um kind of succumb to that lifestyle if you're not
It doesn't
very,
seem.
if you're not prepared for it. And my parents always just, really, really protected me. And also I left Hollywood after I did all that, and I moved away back to Portland for a couple of years just to kind
Right.
of get away from the industry and have that taste of real life and real friends again. And that definitely grounded me even more so that I could prepare to come back into entertainment. So yeah, I feel like I just kind of did everything right. And yeah, I mean, I'm not massive movie star right now, but I'm a great life and I'm very well adjusted
Yeah.
and
Well,
super happy person.
I mean, tracking your career, it's not surprising that you had other interests other than illicit substances. I mean, my introduction truly to you was you did a video game review. I was a huge fan of that guy with the glasses and those reviewers back
Oh,
then.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my introduction was when you took over an Angry Joe review to do a
Oh,
Tomb
yes.
Raider video game. Are you still into video games at this point? And are you is
Yeah,
I mean, you're wearing the
yeah.
Triforce right now.
I do. I know. I did. I saw that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love video games. I definitely don't have time to play them as much as I did before. When I was working in the video game industry and doing a lot of reviews and videos about gaming, I was playing them every single day. I mean, multiple games a day. I just really wanted to be knowledgeable about everything I was talking about because there's nothing worse than like a fake gamer girl who doesn't know what she's talking about. Like I
Oh
really,
yeah,
really wanted to make sure I knew
you
my
can
stuff,
tell.
right? You can definitely tell. And so yeah, I was playing them constantly. But now that I have kids and a totally different career, I don't really have time to play it as much. I mean, I'll definitely do like the Mario Karts and playing those type of games with my kids. And I just busted out Little Big Planet for my kiddos, and I'm like, this was the greatest game. Like, you're gonna love it.
How do
Yeah,
you
so
like?
I try here and there.
Well, you have obviously you're introducing him to your children, and but as somebody who has worked in the industry, how do you make of a lot of the stuff that they're going away from physical media, the seemingly more reliance on microtransaction. The video game industry as a whole, I don't think is going anywhere. But as somebody who was pretty intimate with it for many years, how do you see the state of things at the moment?
I like holding games in my hands. I mean, it was the same as when I wrote a book. Like it's, you have the choice when you write a book usually to like only have it be an ebook, which can be way more cost efficient, or to like actually get it printed. And thankfully, my publisher pushed to get it printed for real. And I'm like literally staring at it right now. Like I got to hold it in my hands. I'm like, this is the book I wrote and I have it. And like, it's the coolest thing. Yeah, I don't know. I wish it was both. I wish for games that when you purchased a game, you got the physical media and you got the digital version. I really think that would be the best of both worlds. I mean, I don't know why that's not an option, or I guess it is sometimes, but yeah, I'm just not really up on the industry anymore, and
Mm.
I kind of just stay out of it these days.
Well, you bring up the book Ash Ridley and the Phoenix. Obviously, uh, somebody who loves Zelda, obviously, and a lot of those fantasy games. We both came of age around the time of Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings was having its resurgent with the films and stuff like that. Was that the influence to write a book like this? How did this come about?
Kind of. It really just came from my childhood. I was a big reader when I was a kid, and I didn't really, you don't have the internet. We didn't have the internet like we do now, just in that sense. So I couldn't just read a bunch of book reviews and then just pick the best one that was the highest reviewed. I just would go to the bookstore and I would look at the covers of the books, and I would buy books based on the covers. And so I was always picking ones that had like a dragon on it or a unicorn on it or like something fantasy. I was just really, really drawn to those images. So those were all the books that I read. And at the time, it just seemed like there weren't a lot of female characters. It seemed like a lot of the leads were little boys, and they always had like a female sidekick, or there was female side characters, but there wasn't a lot of like she's the hero in this young fantasy book. I'm sure they existed. I'm not saying there was none, but I just from when I went to the bookstore and what my selection didn't seem like there was a lot of that. And so just
Disney
my whole
course
life.
corrected. I mean, I think of Moana, I think of
Oh,
Brave and
no,
stuff like
absolutely. I'm
that.
not saying
But
that it's not like that anymore. I'm saying that when I was 11 years old and I would
right.
go to the bookstore, I didn't see a lot of that in the novels. So,
Mm.
totally different now. In fact, it might even be the other way. Like I think that maybe the
I would argue
scales have
there's much
tipped.
more representation. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But yeah, so I just kind of always promised myself that like I'm gonna write one when I get older, right? I'm gonna write a book that I would have purchased as a kid. I'm gonna make the image on the front be one that if I walked into this bookstore, that is what I would pick if I was, 11-year-old Lisa or however old I was. But yeah, it's just something I always wanted to do. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. For me, it's kind of one and done. I might write a sequel at some point, but I have kids now and I just like don't have time to sit and write for 5 hours a day like I used to.
Understood. And novel that takes place in a world that Ash inhabited, it almost begs for a more expansive universe. I hope you don't put it down. I enjoyed what I read of it, so it's great
Oh,
stuff.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I left it on cliffhanger, so like I do need to resolve it at some point. But whatever. It's
We're here with
someday.
Lisa Foyles here on the Craig-Veltri interview. The Patreon will be live next week with the full Craig-Veltri interview archive. Go to www.cvi archive. It will include the current listing of shows, including the ones that you are hearing now with Lisa Foyles. Now let's talk music for a little bit. So you have been, it seems like you've just been an artist in general, all of your life. How long have you been singing, and how recently has a band been appearing behind you?
Yeah, so I've been singing since I was a kid. You know, in theater, it was a lot of musical theater. So I started singing lessons when I was, gosh, earlier than 10. I would have been like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. And I'm mostly trained in kind of like Broadway singing and classical music and, theory. I had an opera trainer for a while.
I've heard you about
Um,
Benatar. That checks.
yes, yes, yes. I know she's incredible. But yeah, I think having that solid foundation of kind of classical music training has really still helped me to this day. But yeah, I was always a good singer. I wasn't like an incredible singer. I couldn't be on American Idol when I was growing up. It just I had other focuses, so I was a good singer. But I found myself not really enjoying performing singing, if you know what I mean. Like I basically my coach at the time growing up, it's like when I was on all that, they were like, okay, well, she can do more. Not only is she an actor, she's also a singer. So we're gonna book her to sing at all of these publicity events to like, start her music career. And it was always just like me on stage with a karaoke track. And I didn't
Mm.
like that. I was just like, I just felt uncomfortable up there.
Saw a
And
lot of the
I would,
Nickelodeon kids do that.
yeah, I would get so nervous. Like I had really, really bad stage fright. My knees would get really knocky. And then like I couldn't sing because I'd be too nervous. And I just hated the experience. And it even got so far as like I had some original music written for me. And then I flew to Nashville and sang for some record labels. And I just like, I put a stop to it when I got back from Nashville because I didn't like this. I didn't like the process. I'm like, I don't want to be a country singer, first of all. Like, I don't know how I fell into this. I think, when you're a kid, you have a lot of people pushing you in different directions,
Mm.
especially if you're in entertainment. And I feel like I just kind of, it was going down that direction and I felt like I lost control over it, right? Like I had too many people kind of making pushing that in that direction. Um,
And it's so
so I just
apparent
kind of,
you're a rocker. You're in a band that does a lot of 80s arena covers. You're in a punk band now. I could hear, I mean, the inroad to Nashville, as somebody who lived there for 5 years, is moving back there in a couple months. Uh, the line isn't that thin between rock and roll and country anyway. But I can understand
yeah.
the apprehension if it just
No,
doesn't
it
fit
was,
you.
and it, yeah, but no, no, no. This was totally like Patsy Cline, like very, very Leanne Rhymes country. The trend
Sometimes
at that
wider
time
than
was that.
others, I should say.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there was no rock. I was not singing any rock. It was all very pop country, old country. Like, and I liked the old country. I liked Patsy Cline and I liked all that, Johnny Cash. Like, I love that old
Mhm.
country, but it was a weird, like, they wanted me to dress like, like a Patsy Cline type of character, but then I was singing very like pop country and I just didn't dig it, right? It
Mhm.
like didn't, it wasn't my thing. So I walked away from that and walked away from like the attempt of having a music career. And I was just stuck to TV for a while. I was, like I said, still always singing, so always finding, opportunities to sing. But it wasn't until I moved to Vegas where I joined a metal band
Mhm.
and because they wanted some opera in the back kind of background operatic vocals behind the very harsh metal music, and it was very beautiful. But yeah, I just never pictured myself in a metal band, but I loved it. I loved it. And I'm like, oh, this is what I was missing. I needed a band on stage with me, like the camaraderie of having other musicians on stage, inspiring each other, like the chemistry you can have with people. That is what I love. And then I got just so sucked into that world, and now it's basically all I do.
Yeah, you've been out and about. You mentioned your punk project. You've been rocking it with Radical West, which is a lot of the clips that
Yeah.
you've been doing that. Uh, I must ask, why you wound up in Vegas. Was it for these musical ventures, or I a lot can be said about the economics compared to Nevada and California, but was what were your reasonings for getting out of LA and moving to Vegas?
Yeah, you basically nailed it. Living in California, especially LA, we were in Burbank. We were, my husband was working on the number one show on television. He was working on Big Bang Theory, and yet we
Yeah.
still couldn't pay our rent. It's like it's so expensive to live there. And it kind of got to the point where our friends group was all kind of moving away as well. And my husband had a great job opportunity in Vegas, and he had lived here before. So I was like, Vegas, like who lives in Vegas? That's all just, strippers and slot machines. And he's like, no, no, no. It's actually like a great place to live. And there's regular neighborhoods and regular people live there. I'm like, what? So we visited and I fell in love with it. And yeah, we came out here, and I've actually found like way more acting opportunities and performing opportunities here in Vegas than I did in LA. There's just so much
I
competition
don't
in
find that
LA.
surprising, actually.
Yeah, it's been so awesome, and now I can't imagine myself ever going back.
No. Uh, Well, how soon after you got to Vegas did you find yourself getting into the music scene, specifically with Radical West?
Specifically with Radical West. Oh, I've only been singing with Radical West for about a year and a half, maybe even less. Yeah, actually, my first gigs with them were November of last year, so not it hasn't even been a year.
Hmm.
But yeah, it took me a while to kind of find my tribe in Vegas, to find my friends group. It's hard to make friends in Vegas. It's a very transient town. Um,
Yeah.
but I found my people, and yeah, it's like it's a very small music scene, and everybody knows each other. In fact, we joke that it's like very incestuous because everybody borrows each other's musicians, right? Like if you have a gig and your drummer can't make it, hey, can I borrow your drummer for this gig? Okay, sure, but can I borrow your bass player for this? But yeah, sure. So it's
Happens all the
and it
time in Nashville.
happens, yeah, all the time. So once I kind of got in that scene and I proved that I was good on stage and I was professional and I would learn material really quickly. It just kind of snowballed, and then lots of bands were picking me up for to sub for vocals, and then eventually Radical West is like, we would love to have a female component when it makes sense. Like, will you please learn our catalog of like 50 songs and then come gig with us when it makes sense and sub for the lead singer Cameron. But yeah, I've been having a total blast. They're so talented. Oh my gosh, they're all
Yeah,
like Berkeley trained musicians. It's like crazy.
oh, you can tell. The punk thing, however, seems to be the passion project at the moment. Is there new music out for that already? Are you touring on that at all?
No, okay, so we are currently writing some original songs for Legal Limit, my new punk band. We're the official house band for the Punk Rock Museum. So Fat Mike from NoFX opened the Punk Rock Museum here in Las Vegas. It's incredible. Please, if you have any interest in punk music whatsoever,
I
like you
love
have to come tour
museums.
this museum. It is so awesome. And they have a bar attached to the museum called Three Star Punk Bar. And it's made to look like a very divey punk bar. Like there's stickers all over the wall, but it's actually like very clean, right? It's made to look
I
that way,
don't
but
know.
it's like it's
I
not
question
but it's
the
not scary.
authenticity. Well,
Oh, trust me, I prefer it. Compared to the other like really dirty dive bars in town. I'd much rather play there.
fair enough. Well, you also, we are talking now on a podcast, and you have a great one called Tempermental. It seemed that there was going to be a lull with it. You've done 100 episodes up to the point in April, and you've just started kicking it off right now, and the internet is better for it. How how is that side of things going for you now that you've got it kicked up and going again?
Yeah, it's great. It was really hard to do episodes over the summer because I have two kids, and when they're not in school, like suddenly your days are gone. They're filled with things you're doing with your kids, and that's great. And I would prefer that because they're little, right? Like I have to embrace the time when they're little because they're growing up so fast. So I had to kind of put the weekly podcast on hold. But yeah, it started as a challenge for me because everything I had really done before that was very like scripted. Even the YouTube videos I was making prior to the podcast, I would like script them out before I did that. And I was just like, I really just need an outlet where I can ad lib and like go off the cuff and not have a structure. So it kind of that's how it started as kind of a challenge for myself, and I ended up absolutely loving it, totally embracing it.
You
Yeah, I'm
can
at like
tell you're having
episode
the
like
time of your life.
105. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Every once in a while I have a guest, some other musicians and other people in town, but yeah, I absolutely love it. So much fun.
Yeah. We have a nice way of closing. We'll get to what's the next release of Foils in a second, but we have a nice way of closing here on the Craig-Veltri interview called the Craig-Veltri Interviews No Kidding Questionnaire. A couple of rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind, Lisa, whenever you're ready, and off we go. Childhood celebrity crush.
Oh gosh, Lance Bass.
My sister loved him too, actually. She had a
Yeah, it
poster of
didn't
him
really
on
work
her
out for
ceiling.
us.
Now,
Yeah, didn't work out for us. No.
I'm the bratty little blood brother. I blamed her, but so that poster on her ceiling. I swear to God.
That's
Is
so
that
funny.
is that the kind of guy? Not finding out his orientation later on with standing, but skinny, nice face, blonde spikes. Is that the kind of guy you found yourself marrying?
Yes, I like the clean cut. Yeah, not I'd never liked like tattoos or anything growing up. I mean, now I'm like living a totally different life, right? Like now I'm the house band for the punk rock museum. There's a tattoo parlor there. All my band members have all the tattoos and everything.
Yeah,
Like I
not,
love it, but like for me myself, like I would never get a tattoo. I'm scared of needles.
yeah, me
But yeah,
neither.
growing up, I was always like, I like the clean cut boys. I like the nice boys.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject in school was definitely English.
Mm.
Loved English, hated math. I mean, I was a straight A student and I somehow got A's in math, but I have to count on my fingers now. Like I don't do math. But I loved English. Love it. Love spelling and vocabulary words. A juicy sentence will just like occupy my brain all day. Like, love
just
it.
getting just being an author later on, and as much as you got to read, you basically just got to have your pastime in the middle of the day, pretty much. So,
Yep.
what occupation other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh my gosh. Um, I I'd love to try stand up someday. I'm not there yet, and I'm too scared now. That's like the one area of entertainment that totally terrifies me.
I've heard
But
that
I don't know.
before. What is it that
Yeah,
scares you about it?
I don't know. You're just standing. I think it's just the pressure of being on stage and like, okay, be funny, like make all these people laugh. Like I already kind of do that when I'm on stage with my bands, right? I love the banter, I love cracking jokes and then like in between songs. But I think it's just the idea of like once again, it's just me by myself on stage, a bunch of people looking at me. And it's like, be funny. Oh my gosh, I'd love to try it one day, but it terrifies me.
On the other side of it, what job, I don't care how many bags of money have been handed to you, Ms. Foils, would you never want to attempt?
Uh, I don't want to fly anything. I don't want to be behind the wheel of a helicopter or an airplane, or I don't want to do that. I'm not a very good driver as it is, so I don't want to. I don't want to be up in the sky.
You don't want to cause more damage. Do you enjoy flying at all as often as you get across the country?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I fly all the time. I'm not scared of flying. I just don't want to be in charge of it.
Fair enough. Well, like I say, you've gotten around. What is your go-to food on the road trip?
Okay, what are they called? They're called like ropes. They're like sweet tart ropes. Have you had
Oh,
these?
I've had these. They're they
It's
are
my
they are
favorite.
deadly. They're
My
deadly.
favorite candy. They're so good. They have like watermelon. Oh, strawberry. They're so good. That's always the go-to. Like get to the 7-Eleven and buy sweet tart ropes.
Yeah, you'll be pet for about an hour on the road trip, and then the next two you are struggling. It gets you so high up. It's
Oh yeah.
deadly, deadly. Well, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Carol Burnett. I would love to have dinner with Carol Burnett.
Have you
I'd
met
love
her?
to just pick her brain. I have not. I have an autograph from her that I was given by a friend, but I've never met her. And I've just always completely admired and idolized and worshiped this woman. And gosh, I would love to talk to her for like 10 minutes. I mean, dinner would be amazing, but yeah, just,
I
yeah,
think
just to
I
meet her.
think any comedian after she was on television owes a debt to her, and you and
Oh,
her
absolutely.
marks are on you for sure.
Totally.
Lisa, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Um, Pet peeve. Oh gosh. I'm like such an easygoing person. Oh, I'll tell you, when my musicians show up and they don't know the songs, that's my biggest pet peeve. You come to
Worst.
rehearsal, you better know the song, know your lyrics and know your chords and know the song. Don't stand there and be like, oh, I didn't have time to learn this one. Learn it.
You took the gig, find the time.
Find
Last
the time.
last question of the questionnaire. What is the best advice that anyone has ever given you?
Start in theater. That was definitely the best advice. Anything you want to do in entertainment, start in theater. I don't care if like I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 45 and you want to become an actor, start in theater. Go right
Mm,
now. Go to your community theater. Go do a couple stage productions before you get into on-camera acting or commercials or anything you want to do.
mm,
It's such a good foundation to have for any entertainer.
mm. Why I support music education and performing arts in any public school. That's usually the charities that I usually lean towards because I wouldn't be
Nice.
sitting here without it. So, well,
Yeah.
Lisa, this is the part of the show that you should enjoy the most. It is time for shameless self promotion.
Yay,
Plug your
shameless self-promotion.
tell us about your upcoming projects, where we can find you on the social medias. Fire away.
Yes, I'm at Lisa Foyles on pretty much everything. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you want to talk to me, leave me a comment on a photo there, and I'll definitely see it. I'm on it way too much. But
We
yeah,
all
Lisa
are.
Foyles, we all are. I'm not on TikTok too much. I don't know. I just can't.
I can't
I
get
can't get
into it
into. I
either.
can't get into it. Right? Okay, it's not just me. But yeah, and please, if you're in Vegas, I perform at the Punk Rock Museum once a month, and our October 30th Halloween show is going to be effing amazing. So if you have plans to come to Vegas, like make it around Halloween. Nobody does Halloween like Vegas. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
I had a friend of mine was just talking about this. I've never been to Vegas myself.
Ah,
I just might have found a reason. Lisa
yes,
Foyles, this was delightful. Thank you so much for finding the time to talk to me today, and thank you for joining me here today on the Craig-Veltri interview.
of course. Thank you so much for having me.
The Craig-Veltri interview, where Craig-Veltri interviews wonderful people, is a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent artist. Written and edited by Craig-Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The opening theme, Shut Up, I Love You, written by Trenton Chandler and Craig-Veltri. Performed by Craig-Veltri. Produced by Jack Gavin. The closing theme, the audio version only, is Shine On, written and performed by Craig-Veltri. Produced by Brian Cole. Inside the Cabin is available now on all streaming. Support Moonshine Vagabonds by downloading direct from Bandcamp. Happy to announce that the music video for It Wasn't Love will be dropping this week on all of our social media and on Moonshine Vagabond's brand new YouTube page. Keep your eye out for it and watch for the drop of It Wasn't Love. Time now to update the event calendar because you must know where I am at all times. Friday, August 29th, I'll be heading to the Hilton Myrtle Beach Resort from 6 to 9 p.m. Then on Saturday, I'm proud to be a part of Scarfire Media's Music on the Porch Day. I will be doing a solo set from 1:20, I should say. And then Moonshine Vagabonds will be rocking it at around 6 o'clock. Tune in to the Scarfire Media YouTube page and all of our social media to be a part of Music on the Porch Day. Then later that night, Saturday the 29th, Megan and I are making a run to Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania, and the Saxon Inn from 8 to 11 p.m. Then Megan and I are making our way down to Hollywood, Maryland, right there in the Cumberland Bay, to Toots Bar from 3 to 7 p.m. Then, after a little bit of rest, Thursday, September 3rd, Moonshine Vagabonds will be a part of the Indiana County, Pennsylvania Fair. Our set starts at 6 p.m. For full dates, including Atlanta, Chicago, and Nashville, visit both my websites, craig-veltri.com and moonshinevagabonds.com. For booking info, including full band and this podcast, email me at craig-veltri@gmail.com. You can find the interview on Facebook by searching the Craig Veltri interview, YouTube at Craig Veltri Music, and music from the 412.com. And you can find me on Instagram, or as my old roommate, the Tommy Thomas, used to call it, Instagirl, at craig.veltri. For Lisa Foyles, I'm Craig Veltri, and this has been the Craig Veltri interview. With that, I'll pass. Shine on.